Hi there, welcome to Roll. Tristan's my name, and today what I want to do is just take you through retainer management in Roll and how we handle retainer style projects, which are different to a normal fixed fee or a normal time and materials project. So what I'll do is I'll go into a project that I was setting up earlier. It's in my WIP, and I set up a custom status. If you didn't know, these are all customizable for your workflow. I set one up earlier for retainer contracts. And here is the retainer contract that I hadn't finished setting up, and you can quickly see any retainer contracts or retainer projects enroll by these recycle symbols just to the left of the project name. But I'll go into this one that I set up earlier. Now what I want to do is just finish the setup. We can see that this project is a Google AdWords management. It's a PPC campaign, and it's a retainer contract with 10 hours allowed each month under the contract, and the value of that retainer contract to the client is $1,300. Now these are all exclusive of tax, and what I want to do here now is I want to actually tell Roll that this is a retainer project. So I want to click this button, but before I do, just watch this area here when I click on that button, because this area is going to change to reflect the fact that we're now dealing with a retainer project. So I'll go ahead and click on retainer, and it now comes out with retainer settings, and you can see that this information here, which is our project performance information, has changed to reflect the fact that this is a retainer. Now what I want to do is set up it's a monthly retainer. That's fine, and I want to actually say set the last day of the current retainer period. So I'm telling Roll when the last day of the current retainer period is, and in this case I'm going to say that we've already started or we're starting the retainer this month, and the last day of the retainer period is going to be at the end of the month. And all I need to do now is click on start, and what Roll will do was it will lock in that retainer setting, and now I can't edit this. I can if I click on the unlocked, but it's a sort of a stopgap measure, or a fail-safe to stop people just inadvertently editing the retainer settings. Now if we have a look down here, as we track time, it will log the time here, and we'll see the amount of time and the value of that time, which is really, really important. And then we will also see the total costs, which are any costs and time costs that have gone against the retainer period, and it will show us how much we've got remaining on the budget. Now what I want to do in this case is let's just click into tasks, and to finish setting up this job, I want to import some tasks so that I don't have to key them all in again. Let's go. I've got some task templates already set up, and here's my Google AdWords task template. Let's import those. Now I've just imported all my tasks for this project, and what I can come through, I've got time allocated or time budgets allocated, and I can come and assign those and basically finish setting up the tasks. What I want to do here though is I'll just log some time against these tasks, just so you can see what happens to the project info screen. So if I go log, we're going to say we've done 1 hour, and this has automatically been set up as we've now got a retainer period, which is September, and we'll say that we set up of AdWords account, and I'll choose the hourly rate, and I've set up an hourly retainer rate, which is at a discount to our normal hourly rates to reflect that they're paying on a regular basis in advance. We'll go retainer rate, and we'll just add that in, and that's now done. And let's just do one more, so I'll finish this task as well. Log that. We'll say that that's half an hour. Put it against the retainer period. It's probably, I'll select the hourly rate, and I'll be done there. Now let's go back and have a look at the project info screen, and you'll see what's starting to happen. So now we've got, we can see the value of the retainer, $1,300, and now we can see how we're going against that retainer period. So far, with the time that we've tracked or logged against that retainer period, we've used 15% of budget, or $195 in time, and the role is telling us that we've got just over $1,100 available for more work against this retainer period this month. So this area here is great for seeing how much you've got available and for the whole retainer, and then also how this period is going. Now, as the retainer periods roll over, Roll doesn't set up a new project each month. It's the same project, but you'll effectively, all of this information will reset back to zero, and then you can start tracking your time again. And what you'll be able to do is you'll get some back arrows. Once you've got some retainer months in place, completed months, you'll have some backwards and forwards arrows where you can go backwards and forwards and see the performance of each period, which is really, really good visibility. Now, the key to managing a retainer project and why we've done this is to make sure that you don't overservice or underservice the client. If you overservice the client, you lose money. If you underservice the client, you make more money on the retainer, but the client doesn't get as much value. So it's a fine balance, and it's really important to basically match how much is going on against the retainer with the value of that retainer. And this little area over here shows you for the lifetime of the retainer how it's performing. So as your months will go forward, the value of the retainer will increase as the months go on, and then the value of the time being logged against this whole retainer over all time will also increase. And what you want to see is these figures actually being quite similar as the months go on. So this here is fantastic for getting really good visibility over how your retainer is performing, and to make sure that essentially to make sure you're not losing money and over-servicing your client. I mean, that's just critical. So that's a really good piece of functionality and Roll. Now, the other piece that I wanted to show you in this this video was actually how we can automate the invoice generation and sending process. So what we want to do is not actually, and this is the whole idea behind this, is reducing our admin time. We want to have this amount invoiced automatically and sent to the client automatically each month, so that we don't have to spend our time generating the invoice and sending it. So it's reducing our admin. So what I want to do is go over to my progress payments, and we've got this retainer progress payment that's been set up automatically by Roll, and we can either manually invoice it, but in this instance we actually want to set up automated invoices. So I can come along, click these three dots, and we've got automatically invoice, and we'll click on that, and now we'll start setting up this setup Roll to actually generate the invoice automatically. Now what we've got is we've got a repeating invoice being set up. It's got the invoice to the company name for the project, automatically populates with the description of the retainer, and then out of zero we can just choose our GL account code, and we can tell that it's repeating. Now at the very top here there's an extra step where we can actually set it up to automatically generate and send the invoice as well. So if I click on yes, I want to automatically send it, it will now ask me what the invoice settings are, or the email settings are for this invoice each month. So once I'm happy with that, I can effectively send it out, and I don't have an email address there, so let's just go add contacts. Let's go hq.com, and we can add that in. Take that one out, and once you're happy, we can just go save email settings, and now that's ready to go. So each month, once I click on save and close, Roll will generate the invoice, which will look like this, and it will automatically send the invoice out to your client. So if I click on save and close, that'll now be set up to automatically send out each month, which is fantastic. So the whole idea is with this is about reducing your admin in terms of invoicing time, streamlining that process, as well as with the retainer side of things, giving you really good visibility in terms of retainer performance, to make sure that the retainer is working well for you and well for your client. So hopefully that was useful for you. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to check out our other videos as per normal, and with a bit of luck I'll talk to you guys again soon.